For all you people out there that want to get into woodworking but just don't know how to start, just don't have the confidence, just don't really know how to do anything, well, one of the easiest ways to get into woodworking is by making cutting boards. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly how to do that. This will also be a two-part series. This will be part one, and we will have part two later on in the week. We're going to be using woods like Duke, which has a deep orange color to it, maple, which is more of like a lighter tan, whitish type color. We're even going to throw some white ash in there. And we're just going to show you how easy it is to get started and just get into woodworking. So enough of the talking. Let's just get into it here and show you all the tools that you need to do a cutting board. Now, a lot of these tools can be mixed matched with other simpler tools, like a table saw. You can use a circular saw or a track saw. Different types of clamps. Now, you're going to see in this video, I got a lot of the best stuff, but it doesn't mean you need that to get started with a cutting board. I started off with a circular saw, some squeeze clamps, and a Hercules or a Bauer planer, okay? That was how I got started, okay? So you can get started with simple tools. You just need to know how to use them. So let's get into it. First, you want to pick out some lumber. I think we're going to go with this Duke right here. It's been sitting here for a minute. I think we're going to pair this up with some maple, and let's head over to the table saw and get cutting. As you see, I'm just going to cut down 3 strips at 1.5 inches wide a piece of this Duke. So 1.5 inches wide here on the Duke. Just like that. You got your 3 strips off of that slab. Now I'm going to go get the maple, and we're going to go down to 1 inch thick slab, so 1 inch, and we're only going to do 1 strip of it, okay? All right, now we're going to measure our length and our width of our cutting board. We are going with 16 inches in length and 12.5 inches wide, so I need 6 of those 1.5 Duke strips, and I need 3 of the inch thick maple strips. Now, the reason why we're only going 12.5 inches wide is because that's how wide my planer is. All right, we're just at the miter box, cutting them down to 16 inches long. They don't got to be perfect because I left myself a 1/4 inch leeway room on each side. So they don't got to be perfect when you're cutting them down. Just get it within the general length that you're looking for, and you'll be good. And you'll see that in part 2, exactly what I'm talking about. And there you have it. There's your 6 16-inch long strips of Duke and 3 16-inch long strips of maple. Now, this may be the most crucial part of the whole build here. You see how the table saw just leaves unevenness there in some spots? Not all the time it does it, but this is just one example I'm showing you guys. It just didn't cut that good, so we're going to run it through the jointer to make sure all the sides are equal so that you get a nice glue-up joint. Now, I know I have a jointer, but I didn't always have a jointer. You can do this with a table saw. You can do it with like a cordless battery-operated planer. I did mine with a Bauer handheld 20-volt planer. That's how I did all my first cutting boards. You can get a compact planer. The M12 one's really good. So there's other ways to joint up your boards without having a jointer. Just want to show you real quick how nice that jointer did. See how there's no gap there? That's going to be a really nice glue-up joint. It's going to be really strong. You won't have to worry about it. Now, when you're cutting all this down, you got this idea in your head, right? But then when you go and you lay it on the table and you see how it looks, you don't like it. Like, I do not like that. I was trying to do some type of offset thing with 3 and 6. I didn't like the way it looked. So this is where I decide, maybe we'll just take that one out. But I'm like, that's too plain because this is for my sister. So now I'm going to end up putting 2 pieces of white ash on the ends there. And yeah, you just got to go with the flow, guys. Another thing I noticed is that my maple strips were a touch narrower than the Duke strips.
So we're gonna have to go thickness plane this stuff down over by the planer. Like I said, the Baduke was about 1/8 of an inch thicker than the maple, and you want to get this all pretty much even when you're doing your glue up. It just saves you a ton of time later when you're doing finish work. And if you don't have a great big planer like this, you can still use that hand planer I was talking about, or you can go to Harbor Freight and get a cheaper version of this for like $200, $250, the Bauer edition. It will get you by until you grow a little bit more. And there you have it. We got her at 3/4 of an inch thick. Now, this is very important to how your cutting board's going to look, the wow factor. I like to look at the grain on all the sides and determine which way I want the grains to flow and what parts of the board. Some sides are more colorful than the next side. What's going to be the front? What's going to be the back? So this is very crucial. Just get it to where you like it. The best glue for cutting boards is Type-On number 3 Ultimate. It is waterproof. This is going to have some water, so you need a waterproof glue. That's a nice little roller for your glue. Helps you spread the glue evenly. And that's the best squeeze bottle in the game right there from Rockler. Now, you just basically take your cutting board as you have it all laid out. You put glue on both sides of each board except for the two end boards. You spread it evenly with whatever spreader you got. That can be your finger. It doesn't have to be a roller or a brush. It can be your finger. And just go right down the line here, trying to keep everything even, but it doesn't got to be lined up exactly. You can be off on a few boards, because remember, we're probably going to be taking off at least 1/4 of an inch on each side once we do our finish work. So this is not that crucial to get everything lined up laterally, but it is crucial to make sure everything is sitting flat. I'm using parallel clamps in here. They are the easiest to do these types of glue ups. I did start with squeeze clamps. That's a little tricky, but you can do it. But these parallel clamps are a godsend. All right, now it's time to clamp it down. And when you're clamping it down, you just need to go enough until you start seeing some squeeze out there. You don't need to be Hercules-ing this thing down, because you will bow your cutting board, okay? And that's why you see me getting these hand clamps out. I put those on there to help it from not bowing, but you should be good without them. I just put them on there as extra precaution. Just don't over tighten your clamps. They don't need to be locked tight down. And it should look like that. All your boards should be laying pretty much flat on your clamp bar there. No bowing, nothing like that. Once you've let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes, go get yourself a damp, wet rag and wipe off the excess glue before you put the final 2 clamps on. This will save you a crap ton of time later on, using a chisel to get all the excess glue off. So yeah, I highly recommend wiping down your cutting board before you put the final 2 clamps on.
There's part 1 for you guys. We'll see you guys later on in the week, maybe around Friday, Saturday. I'll have the part 2 edited and up. So stick around for part 2 while we finish up what we started. Thanks, guys. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps the channel a ton. It's 100% free. This close to 10K. Let's get 10K subs so we can do our massive tool giveaway to thank all of you guys for taking me on this wild ride that's YouTube and woodworking and tools. I love you all. Good night.